Okay, we've bought a Ukrainian SIM card today, and we have received our first message, and it's rather exciting. Who's it from?
So our Airbnb host Peter has told us that he has a friend who runs Ukrainian cooking classes, and they're looking for bloggers to showcase their business, and they're willing to give us a cooking class for free. So it's our first.
Other than the free baked goods we got from the church in Spain.
Wow, they're actually really good.
And I love cooking. This is perfect. My God, I feel pressure to do really well. It's working.
We just got a free deal for 10 months worth of work.
I'm excited. When is it? Tonight?
I don't know, he hasn't said.
Okay. We need to go home and charge our batteries.
Thanks so much for clicking on this vlog. It's a part of our journey over land and sea to Australia, which we've started here in Ukraine.
During this journey, we want to make the foreign familiar. We love discovering the details of people's lives, everything from the unique to the universal. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then subscribe below.
It's really an honor to have you at my home and to welcome you for a cooking class, which I call Sil. In Ukrainian it means salt.
Salt, okay.
Because as a traveler, for me, communicating with people, interacting with locals and tasting, seeing the way they live, it's a kind of salt of traveling.
Finding it hard to leave the stress of her job behind, on her 6-week trip to India, Kateryna realized this wasn't the kind of life she wanted to lead. Inspired by Indian cooking classes, she came home, quit her job for a less stressful one, and started a cooking class out of her home kitchen.
So, and this weird thing is actually one more traditional stuff. It's called lazy cabbage.
So you put the garlic on it. And this is just half a head of cabbage.
Yes.
You cut in half and then
And
you
it
bake.
was baked. Talking about vegetarian, we are quite traditionally used to vegetarian food because of the tradition of fasting. Even like friends of mine, they keep being religious.
Yeah, someone else was saying that also because meat was traditionally quite expensive as well, no? So
Quite expensive, plus you were like cooking it just for special holidays like Christmas or Easter.
I really like that a lot. It's so easy to make as well.
Yes.
It's pretty healthy too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
This is
lard called salo.
lard.
This is basically the fat of the pork.
Yep.
And you have to eat it with the garlic.
Okay.
And this is a specialty which quite particular for our country.
Yeah.
I don't know others who actually enjoy it that much.
I don't think I've seen this anywhere else.
So, one of you.
okay, I'm gonna try it.
It doesn't have much taste, does it?
More like butter, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like putting some butter on. I can see why you like it with the garlic, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my favorite thing I've ever tried, but it's okay. It's been very interesting to try.
This yeast. I don't know if you have that in Australia.
We do, but that's not how I cook with it. I'm too afraid to cook with that kind of yeast.
Really? I'm afraid to cook with a dry one.
Really?
Kateryna's cooking mentor, her 91-year-old Ukrainian grandma, has lived through Polish, German, and Soviet occupation. This mix of cultures brings a diverse cuisine, and her grandma's various flavors lured Kateryna into the kitchen from childhood. Kateryna's passion and knowledge shine through in this class, and her warmth allowed us to be immediately comfortable in her beautiful kitchen.
So, I started with borscht. We could do it with an easy Galina Blanca cube or something, but it would kill the idea of actually cooking.
Oh, like a stock cube, right?
Yes.
You're not supposed to use that.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Sorry, it's my brother. I have
Go
to
for
take
it.
it.
Answer.
He was taken to the army. This is the first time he's called.
Oh my goodness, take it.
We didn't know this beforehand, but Kateryna's brother had been drafted the week prior. The military now delivers conscription notifications by hand as a result of men claiming not to have received a letter. The war, 1,000 kilometers to the east of us in the Donbass region, has recently cooled significantly, but is still ongoing. While Russia continues to occupy Crimea against international law and provide support to separatists in the east, Ukraine continues to draft men in case the war escalates.
But they called on Sunday and they asked him to come, and he had to come, and it was how they actually said, well, actually you have to leave today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So he has to do training first, I assume, right?
Yes, so it's a month and a half that they are doing training.
Yeah. Like, is he going to go to the front, or is he...
No, usually those who are drafted, they don't go to the front. But if
Really?
the action starts there to be really active, they are going, of course. He will basically train a year and a half.
A year and a half
A
of
year
training.
and a half.
So he's going to be away for all that time.
Yeah, and they are going to let him go home only in 1 year.
Wow.
That's, I find very strange. But it's about the way they train them. They have to get used to the uncomfortable environment and so
Yes.
on. His 20th birthday was yesterday.
He's 20.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it was so young, yeah. You know, now it's not a shame to go to the army because
It's just accepted.
it's not just that, it's not like accepted, it's like a kind of an honor. Or when somebody gets drafted, people say, well, that's something which really worth their respect. It's actually a first kind of that close experience of somebody going to
Yeah.
army
Yeah.
for me.
This just seems surreal now, but do I use the big one or the little one?
The big one.
Because your brother's just joined the army and I'm wondering which side. Shock is that gap between knowledge and understanding. And while Kateryna isn't the first person we've interacted with who's been forced into having an intimate relationship with the war, we still struggled to understand the prospect of having a sibling unwillingly put in the line of fire. Still moved by how present the war suddenly felt, we followed Kateryna's lead and carried on with the borscht. Wow, feels kind of cool.
What you doing, Jolie?
I'm making varenyky.
Varenyky.
Varenyky. And what are you doing right now?
Mixing water with flour and making sure that the water doesn't explode out the sides.
It looks really good.
Yeah?
Usually, my students have problem with keeping the dough in one piece.
Well, well done, Joel.
Very well done.
I told you.
So now it's gonna be
We make the pieces, right?
pieces.
How's that going, Jolie?
Yeah, man.
Okay, we've got our varenyky ready here to go in. This is what we're going to cook them in, and then our onions that we're sauteing until crispy that will go with them.
Whoa. Sure, and
Okay, so let's just quickly review everything we've made here. We have beef borscht, we have 2 types of varenyky, melted butter sauce,
straight up butter.
cream cheese sauce that's turned into butter from your cream cheese dealer, sour cream I mean, other sour cream, buns that we made from scratch, garlic sauce, sauteed onions, remnants of starters. What's the wine, the cherry wine called?
The cherry, vyshnivka.
Vyshnivka. And then
The homemade wine.
the homemade wine.
Yep.
It looks like we're expecting about 12 other people to join us.
We can stay here long.
Is this the Ukrainian way of cooking?
Actually, it would be 2 more layers if it would be my mom here.
Yeah. How is it, Jolie?
Amazing. It's just great bread.
Oh, yum. It's so soft. And then does the garlic sauce go in the borscht?
Yes.
Yes. You can taste all the freshness of all the vegetables in it, even though it's a long cooking soup, you know? It doesn't have that heaviness.
Well, actually, the way we have done it, it's basically a very concentrated salad.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's very healthy.
It is like the best salad I've ever tasted. What do you enjoy the most about doing this?
The best part is that when my guests, students, they are sending me pictures of what they have cooked back home.
Oh yeah, that would be
Because
really
it's,
good.
for me, like bringing a piece of your travel together with you.
Yes.
I'm really happy to have you and happy that you enjoyed it.
Thank you for inviting us. We were so excited that you asked us, and we totally enjoyed this. It was like, couldn't have been better. One thing she said to us about borscht is that it's impossible to make a small pot of borscht, and I would have to concur. This is lunch for 2 of us. We'll probably have to stay here for a week to be able to finish it.